Okay, that was fun. That was 15 songs that touched us in the year 2025, and kind of covered lots of ground, from singer-songwriter to rock and roll to some hip hop to some experimental pop, some dream pop along the way, and seemingly all points in between. Couple stops in Oklahoma, and all over the place. So a lot of fun. I think what stands out to me is just the project itself. Best of is a place to make a little bit of a scrapbook of what you listened to that year. So that's nice. But it's also, I think, a chance to be influenced and have your eyes opened to new things. And you two consistently produce things that just don't come to me, and so I'm really grateful for the chance to not only be exposed to the songs, but also to have the chance to talk through them. Some of the stories that were in there, around Will Johnson and Jason Molina and others, learning about Ken Pomeroy, and I don't know, it's just, I think some of those stories end up being just as important as the songs. So, even though the songs have less of a lived experience, sometimes when we're on a theme for the podcast, there's like a strong connection of a song to a memory or an experience. And this is sort of by definition a lot different. And I think it's nice to just mix up the theme in that way and take a slightly different angle, but still to listen deeply and to seek to understand, to seek to form an opinion about it, and also just to find what's good in a song. Not every song ended up hitting me in a way that made me like it right away, but I think when you take some time to try to really appreciate the art that someone has produced, you can find something good in it, and so I like that. I think more than anything, though, just kind of the overwhelming feeling for me is just, it's good to be back in the music appreciation room with you two. And it's also, I think, good to create again. It's good to build something together and to shine a light on some new music and to enjoy that. So yeah, I think I appreciate the fact that we're back on and that we come back together to do this, and just to really appreciate being in the room with you two.
I will take it from there and just say I agree with that 100%, that it's been a year of all kinds of transitions and different things pulling us away from creating together, but happy to have it kind of end in this way, and look forward to doing things more, whether it's more in the theme of the podcast, or whether it's getting together, or whether it's celebrating each other or the families. 2025 was up and down year. I think outside of music, I think there was a lot going on that was disruptive and mentally straining and not good. And I consistently came back to music as the centering and calming place. And I think that that lends to why certain songs are on my best of playlist versus other songs that might not. Couple honorable mentions real quick. I won't go through all the 100 songs I have on my 25 playlist, I promise, but I will mention a few. There was another Jason Molina tribute that came out that was called I Will Swim to You. That I'll throw the artwork up here too, because it's William Schaff, who also is Okkervil River, and did a bunch of the artwork for Songs Ohio. But it's just a beautiful, and I got this on vinyl, man. It is such a cool record, and the vinyl itself has this like hawk on it. It's just like holding something that's physically cool, but also all these amazing musicians. MJ Linderman's on that, as well as Hand Habits. Saturn, Brett was on that. She had a great record, a great version of The Old Black Hen on that. Friendship is actually on that tribute as well. So I mean, to me, it was a year of reliving a lot of things with Jason Molina. A lot of great new music that I was introduced to as well from some friends. Quinn Sakala had a great record. Euphoria, again, is a band that I'll probably talk about next year. They've got a new album coming out in like another week. And their last one from a year or two ago has just been awesome. Emily Hines is a new artist on Keeled Scales, and her EP has just been something that's been spinning. Living Hour is another new band, new to Keeled Scales, I'll say that, and they just released their internal Drone Infinity album that I was spinning just for the last couple months as well. It's just some really great music that came out that felt like it was a full year of exciting things and more to look forward to next year. And happy to keep sharing it with y'all and keep doing these kind of themes. So, Brett, over to you on your take.
Yeah, I agree with everything you guys said. From the challenging year that 2025 was to the way music anchors me, and happy to be back in the saddle talking about these with you guys. I think some of the best of playlists that we've created are some of my favorites. That's maybe something to say around themes, but also like this one in particular, but previous ones as well. I remember the range of the styles and genres that we covered, and as well as the regions that we covered in terms of where the world is and what they mean to us, or what might be new or emerging right now. I think that there's something about that is a bit of a time capsule. So I love that. It feels to me a little bit like listening to Aware Records back in the 90s, where like, oh yeah, I remember when Hey Emily came out and I was introduced, to that music that early. And as well as like I pulled out Shannon Worrell recently and was spinning that whole album. I just freaking love it. I love that there are these time capsules that kind of create a soundtrack of a time in my life that we share. It feels like the core essence of the project that we're doing. Also will note Spotify, has this feature where it will recommend additional songs. I actually took a snapshot of what I see and sent it to you guys because Free Range is on there. Emily Hines is also listed on there that you just mentioned. MJ Lenderman is on there. And then a bunch of bands that I don't know. And I'm like, oh man, I feel a little bit like I might want to create a new playlist of like the songs that I didn't hear in 2025 that I might have liked to. So that's pretty cool. Would love to figure out how to get this broadcasted, outside of our own known circles at some point, because it feels like what we're doing. I don't know that I've, Sean, you mentioned a couple of the podcasts, and I've got a couple that I like as well, but they don't seem to cover the range that we do when we present this kind of stuff. So I love that we have that range. I love that we get to listen to it. I hope that, our contemporary and future descendants enjoy it as much as we do. And I would love to tap into, an audience that would appreciate and love this kind of stuff. Even if it's just the playlists and not our talking heads, but just like to expose the music out there. I would love to know that that's happening because of the work that we do and, the craft that we're putting together into this. So great work. Awesome to be on with you guys again.
Right on.
It is a lot of work. 15 songs is more than 9 by a lot. So it's audacious. It's an audacious task, and but it's one that is a labor of love. So if you're here, that means you've traveled a long journey with us to talk about 15 songs and to relive some of the moments of 2025. And we hope that it has filled you with some smiles and some new music to check out. To the artists that provided the music, thanks for giving us the gift, and to anybody who's listening, thanks for being with us as we close out 2025, and we look forward to seeing you at the Stone Soup for Contemporary and Future Descendants podcast somewhere down the line. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.